So somebody at some point suggested to me that I should vlog a moving day in the house sitting lifestyle here that I'm doing, so that's what I'm doing now. So currently what I'm doing is I've been house sitting for prolonged periods of time in order to avoid paying rent. I've made a couple videos on this already. I'll link those in the comments down below. Currently it's 7:07 a.m. and I actually just drove to go get a bagel. So I went to go ahead to get a breakfast sandwich here and a coffee. One of the things is when you do leave a house sit, you do have to, clean the house because nobody wants to come home from vacation and find their house like dirty and gross. That would be very frustrating for them and I would feel bad leaving the house that way. So one of the things is that I do, clean the kitchen really well, and then it makes it harder to cook and do things. So usually on a day where I'm changing house sits, I do end up going out for food more and going out for coffee more, just because I don't want to have to re-clean those things and take the extra time to do that. I'll try to usually get ahead on the cleaning in the days leading up to knowing when I'm going to be leaving, because otherwise it can be really overwhelming at the end to do that. And obviously there's some other things that you really do have to wait till the very end to be able to do, like putting away your toothbrush and washing the bed sheets and stuff that you're using up until the last day. Right now, because it's still cool out, I want to take advantage of that. A few things in the car, because it's much nicer to load up the car while it's cooler than when it's really hot later on. So here's a little bit of a pro tip, is to back your car into wherever you're going to be loading up so that you have easier access to the trunk, because why make yourself do some extra walking here if you don't need to. So one of the cats just threw up. So there's another side of house sitting, is that sometimes you are cleaning up messes that you were not anticipating dealing with at all. Since I've been house sitting, I learned that cats naturally use a litter box and you don't have to train them to do that, which I think is really cool. But apparently they don't go to their litter box to throw up, because this happened on the hardwood floor. But I'm just glad it wasn't in one of the rooms that has a rug or on a bed or any of the upholstered surfaces in the house, like the couch. So I just got my hair and makeup done for a photo shoot later today. I will link the Instagram of this makeup artist in the comments down below if she wants me to. That way, if you guys are in the Denver area and need your makeup done for a special occasion, she also does, weddings and special events in addition to editorials and runways, but you can get in touch with her that way. Highly recommend. And then I'm just getting gas now on the way home so that I'm gonna have enough gas to make it to that photo shoot later on. In between, I'm gonna have to pack up the rest of my stuff, put it in the car, and move over to my new house sit. So depending on how much time I have, I might still decide whether or not I actually want to go to that new house sit before, or if I just want to have everything in the car so that after the photo shoot, I end up going back there instead of to the other one. The folks that I am house sitting for are gonna be home at 4 today, so I really want to make sure that I'm out of the house before I go to the photo shoot. I really need to be, because they'll be back by the time that I am done with that. So the gas price is only $4.09. Like, oh my gosh, only $4.09. Like, we know how far we've come when I can say only $4.09. I'm glad that I stopped for gas. I was able to get over 10 gallons in my tank, and whenever I can do that, I know that I was really low to begin with, because my gas tank is really small. So I'm back home and I pretty much have finished loading up the car. Now comes the cleaning process. And when it comes to cleaning, I'll pretty much try to turn anything into a game or a dance party with myself, or try to make it more interesting in some other way. For example, I might challenge myself to see how quickly I can fold a load of laundry. I will sometimes put my name on things, like right here, you see this nightlight has my name written on it. This is because for things that I'm really prone to forgetting, I like to have something like that as a visual reminder to jog my memory to grab it. The reason I have this nightlight in the first place is because it's kind of freaky, especially when you're in a new house in somebody else's house, to just have it be totally pitch black at night. But I also don't want to commit to leaving full lights on, because I think it tends to confuse the pets, because they think that we're you know, not going to bed yet because the lights are still on, and they tend to generally settle down more when you turn off the lights. But this is nice. It's one of those lights that just turns on when it's dark. You don't have to do anything to turn it on. But this is also something that I could super easily forget just sitting in the outlet over here. I don't know how you guys feel about stainless steel appliances, because while they look nice, what's super annoying about them is that they never look clean. Like, it's clearly disinfected, but it still looks streaky no matter what I seem to do. They even have this stainless steel cleaner here, which does work kind of well, but it feels like in certain lights, it's always gonna look streaky. It feels like this is impossible, and I'm wasting a lot of time when really this thing is already clean. I'm just polishing it for no reason. And of course, all their appliances are stainless steel, so I'm gonna be doing it to the fridge next. And then the dishwasher, and then the stove. Yay! You always want to leave cleaning the kitchen sink for last, because that's the thing I find myself continuing to use still up until the very end while I'm cleaning up the house. I definitely think one of the more fun aspects of house sitting is getting to try out things that you wouldn't normally get to. For example, the whole thing with stainless steel appliances. I always thought these look really good, and I still agree with that, but now I'm like, I think they're more trouble than they're worth, because the extra amount of time I just spent polishing this was just kind of ridiculous. This level of cleaning that I do at the end of my house sits, I can only equate to the amount of cleaning that you do when you're getting ready to show a house, honestly, because that's the only other time where I've ever had to be so nitpicky and so particular in my cleaning efforts. Because normally it's like, you know, you might vacuum one day and you might do the dishes a different day. At least that's how I do it. It's not like I'm just deep cleaning the entire house all the time. And even if I am, it's like not a big deal if I accidentally miss like taking out one of the, you know, small trashes in one of the other rooms, or maybe there's still like a dish left in the sink. But this is like, you want it to be spotless, because nobody wants to come home from vacation to a messy or dirty house, especially like somebody else's grime. It's one thing if you leave your own house that way when you go on vacation, I feel like, but to do that to somebody else is just kind of gross. So I really try to leave things the way that they were, but everybody has different standards, I've noticed, of like what that level of neatness looks like. So for example, these people, their house was like spotless. Like I swear there wasn't a single cat hair on any of the furniture. And I'm honestly not sure how they did it, because I'm having trouble just using a lint roller to get it off things. And I did do it continuously throughout my house sitting time here. Just look at that. We could knit a sweater off the amount of lint that's on here. Literally already gone through like 100 of these, it feels like, just trying to get rid of all the cat hair. However, there's other people where, you know, a little bit of mess seems to be more okay, and when they left the house, to me, it was more in that condition. So I kind of just try to go with the rule of like, I try to leave things how they were when people left, or neater than that, but not messier than that. I'm not sure if I always succeed, but I do my best. I guess I would say that I actually do kind of prefer when people are a little bit more messy, because I feel like it leaves a little bit more space for me at the end to be not perfect with my cleaning. Not that I'm not going to do a good job, but I feel like people who are that neat are also the ones who are going to notice when things are not perfectly cleaned, and that just feels like a lot of pressure on me, honestly. Also, these people had a lot of plants as part of the house sit, so you can see some of them behind me right here, but they also had some here in front of me. And I actually ended up killing one of them a little bit. So this guy here looks really bad. So I'm trying to decide what I should do. I definitely want to try to replace it, or at least make the effort to, but I'm kind of also out of time. So I think I'm going to ask them what kind of plant it was and offer to replace it. And then I'll just drop it by, since I'll still be in the Denver area. Also try to leave the people something nice to come home to. So these people, I noticed that they like whole milk, because that's what they had here left over when I came in. And then I just got them some mini muffins here. But I try to do something like this every time, because I know that it's hard after a long trip to come back to an empty fridge, especially when you're jet lagged. It can be really nice to have a little something to tie you over. When it comes to returning the key, there's a variety of different ways you can handle this. It's really whatever you and the house owner agree upon. Oftentimes it'll just be a hiding spot, but sometimes the people feel more comfortable with you coming back and returning the key in person instead, and then I've done that as well. Other times people have a keypad and we don't have to worry about this at all. All right, so somehow it all fit in the car once again. I feel a little bit bad this time, because they had asked me to have the cats inside, but I honestly can't find one of the cats. He got out while I was just taking trips of stuff to the car, and I just couldn't chase after him with everything I was carrying. I know he'll come back like to eat, but they did specifically ask me for that, so I feel kind of bad. Obviously, I'm really sweaty. I kind of am hating looking at my makeup right now, and my little curls here are gone, so I'm gonna have to try to touch that up before I go to the photo shoot. So now I'm gonna go to the new house sit.